Hello, it's me. After the incredible success of my last tier list, the Hololive tier list, I decided to stray away from the more weeb kind of things and decided to do a tier list for the 40k Warhammer 40k factions. I've never played the tabletop game. I have played Dawn of War. Oh, whoa. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Whoa. It's gonna sound good to everybody, I'm sure. I'm gonna really attract a lot of people to this video. I really only played Dawn of War. I played I played Dawn of War and Dawn of War Winter Assault. I didn't play Soulstorm or the other one. I played those as a kid. I vividly remember seeing the box for Dawn of War plus Dawn of War Winter Assault. You know, an expansion back when they did fucking expansions for video games instead of DLC. I vividly remember seeing that in Walmart and really wanting it, and I remember my dad buying it for me and driving us home and me just looking at the fucking flap on the box. I still have the box. But yeah, I didn't play the other two, Soulstorm and whatever the other one's called. I did buy them much later and played a little bit on Steam, but I don't know, I'm just not that into video games to really commit to playing that shit. I played Dawn of War 2. I remember my local game store had a room with computers that kind of functioned as like a computer cafe, where you could go in, where you could pay a set amount of money and go in and play on these computers. They had a whole bunch of games and shit, and they had Dawn of War 2. Played a little bit of that, was interested, and then ended up buying the game on my Steam account much later, and played a little bit, but never beat that shit. I never beat the Dawn of War or Winter Assault campaigns either. I just played against bots, and eventually when my friends started playing, I'd play against bots with them. Yeah, never beat Dawn of War 2, and I think I only played the first Dawn of War 2. I didn't play like any of the expansions or DLC. I think they were DLC at that point. And I never played Dawn of War 3. I wasn't too big into the idea of it not being a base builder, the Dawn of War 2. But it's, you know, it's okay. I kind of like it still. But yeah, I never played the tabletop. I did own like a platoon or like a small set of Imperial Guard back before they were the Adeptus Militaris or whatever the fuck GW renamed them to so they could copyright the name. I did own a little box of Imperial Guardsmen, and never painted them. I did glue them together, but I never did anything with them, and I think they just got thrown away, or maybe they were in a box that I donated to a fucking pawn shop. I do remember I had the squad leader guy, and I attached a flamethrower to him, and I remember like asking my brother. My brother lived with me, so I had to be less than 12. I think I was like 11 or 12. Actually, wait, no. I would have had to have been less than 14, I'm sorry. So, actually, wait, no, yeah, I don't know. I was somewhere in like the preteen, early teen age. And I showed it to him. I was like, you think this looks cool? Like, is this neat? And he was just like, you better make sure you can do that. Like I'm like, what do you mean? Like, of course, I just did it. Of course I can do it. I didn't say that to him. I was just kind of flabbergasted because, of course, he meant like in the rules for the game. But like, I wasn't gonna play the fucking tabletop game. We lived in a town very far away from an LGS. Not very far, but like an hour away from the closest LGS local game store. Uh, and certainly I wasn't playing with anybody at the time, like in real life. Like none of my friends were playing that shit. It was way too expensive. Um, so yeah, that kind of put the stop on my train, and I just kind of pieced them together and didn't do anything with them after that. Didn't paint because I really didn't want to fuck up the painting, but like I didn't know any techniques and I didn't have all the shit. I think I just had some generic like Citadel paints, but I wish I had gotten more into 40K or Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I'm gonna do a Warhammer Fantasy Battle tier list, not Age of Sigmar. That shit fucking blows. But I am gonna do a Warhammer Fantasy Battle tier list maybe tomorrow, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But anyway, let's dive in. This has been quite a bit of rambling, not that much rambling. Alright, so we're gonna start up here, and same rules, whatever tier they go in has its own ranking, like left to right, etc. Chaos Demons, I'm gonna put them in F. Like I've never cared for Chaos, and I've never cared for Chaos Demons either. I kind of don't like that they're their own codex. I don't know why they are. I know like allies are a big thing. I think this is for the most recent edition of Warhammer 40K. So I think it's to like give Chaos like some allies, but I like the Chaos Space Marines some allies, but I just don't like Chaos very much. I can't explain it. It's not that they're the bad guys, really. I just don't really like the Chaos aesthetic, and I think like this sounds kind of dumb, but I think the Chaos in 40K is just a little too over the top for me. And it's not that it's over the top, it's that it's what it is, that the aesthetics, like the lore, like everything Chaos represents is very over the top, and I'm just not into it. I don't know. Demons are bottom of the barrel. The next one I see is the Adeptus Custodes, which is pretty cool. I think this is the first edition where they're a faction. I never remember them being a faction, and like I think Adeptus Custodes are super cool. Like all their lore is freaking amazing. Like they're kind of Mary Sue OP kind of, but like one of the big things was like they just guarded the Emperor on the Golden Throne and didn't really do anything but that. And I think part of the lore in this is now that Gilliman has returned, Rowboat Girly Man, and that Rowboat Girly Man has returned. They've seen the errors of just holding up and protecting the Emperor on Terra, and now they're like doing more shit, like doing missions throughout the galaxy, which is like okay, but like I'd kind of hate to either be playing them or be the people facing them, like actually in the game, because part of the lore is like that any battlefield they're deployed to is instantly like categorized as a victory by the Imperium, because like it's heresy for them to lose, and I think that's kind of bullshit. Like that makes it like, bro, like it's hard to like play them or be against them. Like it would trigger my autism or something. But like I like the idea of how they play on the battlefield, like very few units and but they're like super strong. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of cool and pretty easy to get into, like from like a tabletop gaming perspective, because you know GW, Games Workshop, the makers of Warhammer 40k, really overcharge for those fucking minis. So I mean, that's kind of a bonus for them. And just like that's a cool play style. You know, I think that's neat. I'm gonna put them in like. I think I'm gonna put them in S, just because I really like the Custodies. Like, I like the lore, I like everything about them, but they're not an S plus for me. Like, they're not my favorite faction. They didn't even really exist as like an actual faction before this edition. They were something that you wouldn't ever be able to play. So next up is the Salamanders. They're sorry. I heard my dog walking. That spooked me a little bit. Salamanders are a pretty cool Space Marine faction. I'm kind of, in some ways, not a fan of every Space Marine faction getting their own codex, but GW is a poor company, real small. They need all the money they can get, so you know they got to pump out as many $50 codexes as possible, codices as possible. Salamanders are definitely up there though for a Space Marine faction. I'm gonna put them in A. I think they're pretty cool. I like the lore. Vulcan is a pretty cool Primarch. So Orcs. You know, a lot of people love Orcs. I'm not a big fan of their aesthetic. I think they're pretty funny and like they're kind of cool, but just like I have zero interest in playing Orcs. Like, I think they're cool to fight. Like, I think they've got an interesting aesthetic, but like I don't like their aesthetic personally. They go in B. Ravenguard. I'm not a fan of, like, I don't see Space Marines as very like guerrilla, like stealthy. Like, so I don't know. They go in D for me. Harlequins. I think that's a new faction too. They used to be like part of Eldar lore, and like I think they were like a unit the Eldar could take. I don't know how exactly they work as a faction, if like they technically go against the Eldar sometimes. That's the same thing with some of these, like the Adeptus Custodes. Like, I don't know. Like, it's obviously a game, so anybody's supposed to be able to go against anybody, but I don't think it always works lore-wise. But Harlequins were kind of one of the cooler parts of Eldar lore, in my opinion, so they're gonna go up to like A. White Scars, Mongol Space Marines. I'm gonna put them in. It might be an A. I don't know. I'm gonna put Harlequins above Salamanders though for right now. Chaos Knights. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I really don't like the knight shit. That's kind of new. I just despise that stuff. I think Titans are kind of cool, but like these factions for them are just like dog shit in my opinion. I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't like the aesthetics. I don't like them being separate factions. Like, and like I think the Knights for the Imperials are like supposed to be part of the Adeptus Mechanicus, but like there's their own separate thing, and it's fucking weird. And it's like Titans should have just stayed how Titans were. They didn't need their own fucking faction and shit. Tyranids are my all-time favorite faction, actually. I've always loved like Horde, Swarm, like hive mind factions and games and media. Like Starship Troopers is still one of my favorite movies and my favorite book of all time. And just like the movie bugs, the arachnids are so fucking cool. Like they're super cool. The book ones you don't get a whole lot about, but they're pretty different. Still cool, just cool in a different way. But I like that kind of like mindless beast controlled by like a hive mind swarming, like just ripping and tearing, consuming everything. Like that shit's fucking cool. And Tyranids can be played plenty of different ways. I think they kind of always have been able to. They could be like a shooty, stealthy faction, or they could be like a mass swarm faction, or they could just have some big, powerful fucking units on the field. So, and then I think back in the day, they were like the first edition, or like when 40k was first out, Tyranids were pretty different. I think they were more like gray aliens. Like that's kind of how they looked. Which is cool too. I mean, I think that's fine. Death Guard, despite not liking Chaos, they're definitely my favorite Chaos faction. I think they might go in B. I like Mortarion. I think he's probably one of my favorite Primarchs, if not my favorite Primarch. I kind of like their playstyle a little bit. Like how it would work from my thoughts and my reading. Death Guard seem kind of cool, and I like their pre-heresy design quite a bit, which I mean shouldn't really matter for this, but whatever. Space Wolves, they're gonna go and see. Like, I'm not a fan of the space Viking shit, and like I don't like the like Wolfen shit. I don't know. I don't know what their lore currently is like, but they've always been one of the lower tier of Space Marine for me. Like they're not horrible, but I don't know, they're just not my thing either. This one is just Chaos Space Marines. I'm gonna put them at C. Same thing, I just generally don't like Chaos. I'm gonna put the fucking Death Guard above them, but like I don't know, just not really my thing. I guess this is a spoiler for if/when I do the Warhammer Fantasy Battle video, but I vastly prefer the Chaos Knights and that to Chaos Space Marines. And like not these knights, the Chaos Warriors of Chaos, not Chaos Knights. I'm a fucking idiot. Imperial Knights, that's going in F, that's going in the fucking trash. I guess I'll rate them above the Chaos factions, but they're garbage. Dark Angels, they're pretty cool, I guess. Shit. You know, I think I'm gonna rate them, I think I'm actually gonna rate them above the Salamanders and White Scars. These guys might have to be redone towards the end of this, but I like the little hooded dudes that are on the rock or whatever. Lionel Johnson was kind of a queer though, but I also like their, what's it called, like them hunting for the fallen brothers, the ones that turn to chaos or whatever, and then the fucking, I don't know. They've got some cool lore. Thousand Suns, I'm gonna put them actually with Death Guard, below Death Guard, but in the same tier. They're pretty cool. They're cooler than regular Chaos Space Marines. Drukari, oh, Dark Elves. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the BDSM aesthetic. They're going in D. Adeptus Sororitas, I'm gonna put them in B. I kind of like their lore, and like I think theoretically I would like the Adeptus Sororitas quite a bit, but I think their models look ugly as fuck. I prefer definitely the models where like you can't see the faces of people. I think the faces are very poorly done a lot of the time on models. Gene Stealer cults. Despite being a Tyranid fanboy, I'm gonna put them in C. I heard that like they're pretty powerful like on the board nowadays. Although I think this is the first time, I mean I say nowadays, I mean like like a Genestealer warrior or whatever, like the basic unit is like one of the best melee units in the game right now or some shit. Maybe I read that wrong, but I just kind of don't like that they got their own codex, but you know, Tyranids need allies, I guess, so fuck it, make Genestealer cults. But also, Genestealers have kind of been one of the parts of Tyranid lore that I like the least. Maybe they should go up to B, just because, like, I mean, I don't hate them that much, but they're one of the parts I kind of ignore in Tyranid lore. C is fine. I think I'd rank them with Chaos Space Marines, but they're gonna go at the top of this. And actually, hold on. I think it's gonna go like that for this tier. This is true for this tier. I generally favor the Imperials over any other faction. Iron Hands, I'm gonna put them like here, maybe. I like them more than the Space Wolves. Yeah, actually, hold on. Yeah, I think this is fine for right now. This is kind of hard, actually. Iron Hands are kind of cool, but I don't really... They're not, like, great. I might actually... Hold on. I actually think I like the Thousand Suns more than the Death Guard when it comes right down to it. I like the kind of pseudo-Egyptian aesthetic in a way. And I also, I think I slightly prefer Tzeentch over Nurgle as a Chaos God. But like, I don't feel like I like the Salamanders and White Scars more. It's just like I hate them. The parts of them I dislike are less, really. Dark Angels I kind of like. I think if I was to make like a Space Marine list, I'd make Dark Angels. Tau. I think maybe I would throw them up here in S. Like, I really like the Tau, actually. I think they're pretty cool. I like the fact that like they have a legitimate reason to have like human allies. And I think their lore is kind of neat, but at the same time, it's just grim enough for 40k. But they do lack like a silliness that 40k kind of needs. Maybe they'll actually go down to A. I don't know. They're gonna teeter here for a second. Grey Knights, they're definitely a D, below the fucking Dark Eldar. I think they're kind of stupid. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, they're just like kind of Mary Sue's almost. Space Marines, like the generic ones, I'm gonna put like right here. Like, I kind of like Space Marines, I like the idea of them. I'm even fine with like the Primaris Marines right now. I know that's like a new thing to the lore too. I think that's kind of interesting, but I think they're kind of like the scale of Space Marines, like the lore kind of goes back and forth sometimes, so it's hard to really gauge like how you should feel about Space Marines. Like sometimes it's like fuck, like they're invulnerable angels of death, like coming down, fucking these beacons of hope and light in a dark universe, and then sometimes it's like they just get fucking slaughtered like Imperial Guardsmen, so it's kind of hard to feel about them, I guess. Yeah, and I mean, like, I would probably, if I was ever to get into Space Marines, it'd either be Dark Angels or I'd make my own chapter, just and have them play as like generic Marines. Yeah, but also it was always said on like the traditional games board of Fortune TG, as I will refer to them, that like everyone plays fucking Space Marines. Like they're so overplayed and generic, it just fucking sucks. So I probably would never get Space Marines, but Ultramarines, like I don't really like them that much, but like they're kind of Mary Sue, but I heard that's been toned down. I'm gonna put them like just above the Orcs, I guess. Like I don't really feel that strongly. Wait. What's Rogel Dorn's Legion called? Imperial Fist? Do the Imperial Fist not have their own fucking codex? I thought like the fucking wow, I'm an idiot. I thought like Black Templars had their own codex too. What the fuck? I don't know. Like I don't know that, but like what? Anyway, Death Watch. I think Death Watch is kind of cool. I'll put them like right there. I don't think they deserve their own codex, but like I think as a faction they're kind of neat. Like I like Death Watch lore a bit. Like all these Space Marines like joining up with this Inquisition Chamber Militant to fuck up some Xenos. That's kind of cool. Oh, Astra Militarum. That's what the Imperial Guard have been renamed to. I'm gonna throw them up in S. I really like them. I like the lore. I like just normal humans fighting the fucking horrors of the galaxy. The other side of the coin of it's my love for Starship Troopers. I like the bugs, but I also like just the average Joe Blow having to fight them. And I'm pretty sure you can get quite a bit of variation with them, even though I see that like no one special has their own codex. And unfortunately, like I don't think you ever see minis that aren't like generic Cadians, you know, like you don't see Vostroyans or Elysian shock troopers or drop troopers, or Mordians, or the Talarn guys, or the Valhallans. I read a couple novels, or one. I don't think it was a couple. I think it was just one where the protagonists were Valhallans. So it's pretty cool. Not related to Space Wolves, despite the name. They were actually like Space Russians, Space Communist Russians, whereas the Vostroyans are like Imperial Russians. Craft Worlds, Eldars are like whatever. I'm gonna put them above Genestealer Cults. I think I kind of like them on the whole, less than Space Marines and less than Orcs, but like I don't hate them. Like they're not awful. I just don't really have any interest in the Eldar or how they play, like in video games, or what I think they play like on the tabletop. Adeptus Mechanicus I think is pretty cool lore-wise. I don't know how they. I think they're pretty new to being on the tabletop too. I think I might put them like right here. Yeah, that seems about right. I don't have much to say about them though. Blood Angels. I think they're like one of my. I think I like them more than the Iron Hands, but they're, I don't know, just nothing great. The Necrons. I'm gonna put them up in S. I kind of like Necrons. I liked them back when they were like completely soulless Terminator like esque, like rising up, kind of just voiceless, nameless, soulless threat. Like I kind of like that. But I also like them just being Tomb Kings in space, or Egyptians in space. I mean, like, you know, that's kind of like the stereotype, but I'm pretty sure you can still have them the old way in space. It's just that some Necrons aren't that way now. So they've added quite a bit of variation in, like, kind of the personality of the Necrons, and I think that's cool. And I still think their aesthetics pretty great. Besides a few bits of lore like Trazen, which is just kind of silly. Which I mean, in 40k you need some silliness too. Like it's not 40k without some silly shit. And I think they're really pushing away from that. Although like they're keeping some other silly shit that like they should probably get rid of. And getting rid of cool shit, like I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's my list. I don't know if I have anything, like I'm a little hesitant on some of this middle section. Like I kind of think maybe White Scars and Salamanders should be down in B. Actually, I think I will put them down in B. I don't think they're a whole tier above some of these guys. And I think actually I kind of like Adeptus Sororitas more than them. Actually, let's throw Adeptus Sororitas up in A, but in above Death Watch. I think I like Adeptus Sororitas as the Chamber Militant of the Ordo, oh wait, no. Yeah, Hereticus, and as like the militant arm of the Ecclesiarchy, more than I like the Death Watch as the militant arm of the Ordo Xenos. I don't know if within the tiers there are some variation, but I think actually this is where I would put everybody. Maybe Genestealer cults could be knocked up to here. Probably like them more than Orcs actually. Yeah, I think this is gonna be my final. I was kind of thinking about Genestealer cults and some of the like shit while I was talking about other stuff, some of the other orders in here. I think this is about how I feel about factions. Tyranids are definitely my undisputed favorite. I think these two are kind of tied, Astra Militarum and Adeptus Custodes. Like, it's kind of hard to pick. But Necrons are definitely below both of them. And then, yeah, I think I like Tau a lot next. Harlequins are the coolest part of the Eldar, so... Adeptus Mechanicus, definitely really cool. And then I think I like Dark Angels the most, but maybe I could put just generic Space Marines above them. Yeah, maybe put these guys down here. Actually, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of any of the main Space Marine factions, I feel like, but I think Dark Angels would maybe have to be my favorite. Salamanders are just a little too uninteresting, same with the White Scars. I don't really know how Dark Angels play. I think, don't they favor like Terminators? Like, isn't their whole first company or whatever just Terminators? I don't fucking know. Yeah, I might put them in the bottom of A tier. This is it. This is gonna be my final. I've been talking for a while, so this is it.